So my dad was going to go, but then we started talking about AI. So Mark, if you want to start off, so you started talking about AI with pricing. If you want to start with that, what were you saying?
Yeah, AI, I think is going to be something that's used more regularly within construction and within everybody's normal sort of daily lives. Different platforms are being used. Builders are using it in different sort of ways, and I think even more on the more technical side of things, it's going to be used even more so.
Do you think so? What are builders using it for?
So pricing jobs where the plans have been given, they can work. So AI can work out the square meterage, the costs of a build, and things like that.
So if they're using ChatGPT now and it's working, do you think that someone could go down the route of creating a software specifically for pricing projects? Because it would help with time, it would help with cost, but then you're then negating the need for a QS. So
Yeah.
what do you think?
Well, I think ChatGPT and all other sort of AI platforms are sort of developing the knowledge, and the more that you put input into the platform, the more you're going to get out on the other side. I think it's something that people will use more and more, but I still think there's a need to check this manually, which I know that some builders aren't, and they're sort of just relying on that technology because it's a lot faster, but speed isn't always success.
So Murdad from I've nicknamed Murdad the Einstein of construction. So as the Einstein of construction, what do you see with using AI within property and construction? What do you think about it? Where do you think it works? Where do you think it doesn't work? What do you think that we should move forwards with AI, or do you think we should keep some of the way that we've always done things implemented moving forwards?
I think 2026 possibly going to be like a very good year for AI because AI is now, I think, less than 2 years or almost 2 years and a half started. Then now it's quite a lot more developed when you compare to 2 years ago. Was a lot more you can see from them, but most of the professionals, especially for small and medium consultancies, or even like a different kind of companies, they are more like exploring rather than actually using it in a larger scale. But everybody can see the potential now. So I can see a lot of like kind of IT developers now. They are offering some sort of like specialized platforms or some sort of like software developed by AI, and you can use it for, say, for example, as you say, for cost estimation. You just give them like drawings, and then it's just giving out you some sort of tonnage or cost or like whatever you need for pricing. Um, this is great, but still a lot more to do. So you still can't just rely on that alone. You still someone need to just supervise it, just checking it, especially senior engineer or senior checking person.
That brings me on to my next question, because I think it would be great to have AI pick up some of the weight, because I think within our industry there is quite a lot of weight to carry. There's a lot of pressure sometimes, so I do think it's very good to alleviate that. But that being said, if something was created by AI and later on down the line it went wrong, who would then be at fault?
But obviously the human. So you're still working on your own PI insurance or your own responsibility. It doesn't matter what tool you're using. You're still responsible for that. You can't say, no, I did estimation using ChatGPT, so it was wrong. Go charge Google or Alphabet or whatever. But the issue is, as you said, similar to old software. If you feed them trash, you receive trash. So it is like how you're using it. But when you're actually thinking about using AI, I'm just more thinking about using the actual doing the job. Like, for example, how to produce the drawing or how to produce the actual calculation. In that level, I mean, from our point of view as like a structure engineer or like whoever producing the drawing, at that level, still a lot more expensive, and I wouldn't say it is affordable for now for us. But as a particular example, we wanted to use the software. Um, the license for the software was expensive, but I wouldn't say it wasn't affordable. but the actual hardware you needed for that was a lot more like RAMs or like a lot more developed control advanced computer you needed to just have for like running that software smoothly. And at the end of the day, it was efficient, but not as much as you expected. Like, for example, when you're thinking about that, you're just giving the minimum input and then receiving the maximum input and saving at least for a 5-day project, saving maybe 3 days of your time. Then that's what you're looking for. But it is possible. I mean, that's what I said, 2026, maybe this is the year everything is going to be a lot more affordable and also more efficient in terms of AI. But as you mentioned, like still people using it now a lot more and more, like on daily basis, maybe writing a report or maybe cost estimation or maybe as an assistant, which is quite very good, saving a lot of time.
Thank you. So, Mark, what do you see yourself using AI with moving forwards into 2026? If you could use an AI that could help you in your day to day with work, or your colleagues help them with their day to day work, what do you think it would be?
I think AI is definitely going to help our industry when it comes to creating reports, like Merdad had said, being able to deliver sort of progress reports for clients, um, a level of communication that is going to be far quicker whilst we're out doing surveys, client meets, and taking on, onboarding new clients. I think AI is definitely going to be able to integrate the office with the actual construction side of what we do. So I think AI has got some positive sort of impacts that it's going to be able to produce later on down the line.
Because I know someone's going to mention it at some point. Do you think that going down the route of AI, it's allowing people to become lazy and they can choose to not be as educated as they want to be? Like, how do we? Because I think AI is great, but I know some people are going to say, well, it's easy to do that when you have AI, but you don't actually know it yourself. And that's understandable. And like you said, there needs to be a human in control of it because
Yeah.
that's the person that needs to have their name to it. So, what do you think about that?
Well, it's a massive risk if you're going to allow AI to control everything that you do within your own business, because you need to sort of know what you're doing, how it's being done, and like Murda said, you need accountability for a project that you're delivering. From like Murdad on the structural engineering side to Kingsley on the architectural side, mistakes can be made, but they've got the level of knowledge to know and identify what is wrong and how to change that, and obviously make sure that it doesn't go out to the builder. It's then down to the builder or contractor at the end of the line to make sure they're delivering what's required. They should know how to read their drawing, know if anything's wrong, and if anything is identified, addressing that as soon as possible. Ultimately, the builder's the one at the bottom of the plans that has to make sure that everything meets the requirements set out by the architect or structural engineer, and then deliver that.
On, on that question, you mentioned people might get lazy. Um, I would say instead of lazy, I would say everything will be changed in a different style. Say, for example, 20 years ago, if you wanted to design 5-story building, you had to do like calculations by hand, and then after that, maybe we had the software, so you were using the software, but some engineers, they could have just done maybe using the software properly, but not doing hand calculation. So you couldn't really say they were worse engineers. They were doing still better job, maybe more efficient, quicker, still same safety factor, no problem at all. I would say this is happening again with using AI. So you might not really using a lot of job will be eliminated. You possibly don't need junior engineers after 10 years anymore because AI can do that. But it doesn't mean that we don't need any more engineers, because all the engineers coming out of the university now, they are focusing on better skills, higher quality skills, or something more advanced skill. It's just speeding up all the industry in a better way. So going to be, rather than, it's going to be cheaper eventually, because now the job I'm doing maybe in 3 days, now I'm finishing in 1.5 days. So still same price for the client in terms of like the fee we are sending, but in reality he's receiving the job quicker, so he's saving his time, and I'm just maybe saving my time. So best for everyone. and then we have like more skilled people when moving forward, rather than getting lazy.
Yeah, I think before, when calculations were done by hand and then it's done through computers, like with TEDS, for example, I think there's a big difference between using a software that will help you calculate all of the loads and then using a software that can generate its own information because it's it's the internet basically, isn't it? And so I think there is a big difference between the two. And I think people like yourself, that you already have the knowledge that AI would be extremely useful for you because you have a constant thirst for it. Whereas there could be some people where they're so overwhelmed, and instead of taking the time to sit and learn the information themselves before using the AI, they may become reliant upon it more so with that.
Yeah, that's right. It's all about opportunities and pros and cons happening for that, everything like that. But I would I would consider it as a positive part of that. It means that the whole economy is live. If, say, for example, like companies going bust, or you just have new companies, the competitors going, like everything, like for example, speaking about like IT companies, the same. Like company like Yahoo, for example, like 10 years ago, nobody even thinking someone like overcome them. But now you have Google. But now after Google, another company might come. You never know that. It means this is live economy. People have to die. I mean, not people. I mean, the economy, like companies going bust, and then we have the new companies, so it's just more efficient. It is fine. It might be scary for some people, but you have to adapt yourself. You just learn the technology and then maybe improvise for the next stage.
So for both of you, what AI would you actually like to see implemented?
Wow, that's a question. It'd be good if processes could be implemented within AI that people like building control, architects, structural engineers could all sort of be part of, that would make everything uniformed, would give clients knowledge, and also the contractors and everyone that has to use everything that's developed through AI to be able to work through and from. So I think that would be good for our industry, or for us as contractors.
But to me, if AI can do the drawings, then perfect. That's the